Hi, I'm Tim and welcome to this video. You may or may not be aware that Grandstream have released a new firmware version. However, it's currently in beta version for their GCC series, which are their all-in-one convergence devices. Now, the version in beta or beta, whichever you like to refer to it as at the moment, is version 1.0.7.5, and in this version I have been testing for a couple of weeks now and I have to say it's working very well. They have released private pre-shared keys, or PPSK as they're more commonly known. Now, if you have more than one Wi-Fi network, for example you have multiple SSIDs, then you may find it easier to have one Wi-Fi network and then set up private pre-shared keys to those. So what it will do is allow you to have and broadcast one wireless SSID network and then set up private pre-shared keys so that you can have different passwords in those private pre-shared keys, and then depending on what password you use, it will put you into the relevant VLAN. So in this video, what I'm going to be doing is showing you how to set up private pre-shared keys on a Grandstream GCC Series, which is also the device I'm using to manage my Grandstream wireless access point and also my Grandstream network switches. So let's hop onto the computer behind me and get right to it. Oh, and just before we do that, if you want to know more details about all what's in this beta version, then I would suggest that you hop over to Tony's channel at Quick Tech Solutions, or you can have a look at Willie Howe's channel on Willie Howe Technology, where they go through all of the features that are in this latest beta version 1.0.7.5 for the GCC series. So we'll get right to it now. So here we are, and what I've done is logged into my GCC 6011. Now this video will also work with the GCC 6010 and 6010W. So once you've logged in to your GCC series, all you need to do is click on the network nodes icon. Now if you're wondering what icon that is, it's the one with the two network switches at the top here. So select this. This will take you into the network nodes screen, as you'll see here. We've got a graph with various information about statistics for our wide client speeds, top clients, top SSIDs, top access devices, and so on. So to create our private pre-shared keys, or PPSKs as they're more commonly known, what you need to do is go into AP management at the left hand side, and this will take you into your access points, which are being managed by your Grandstream GCC series device. So what we need to do is first create our SSID. So to do this, select Wi-Fi management at the left hand side. This will then bring a drop down menu, as you'll see. So what you need to do is select SSIDs, and here you will see that I've got a selection of 3 SSIDs: GWN 7665A, S and G. Now currently I have 3 different SSIDs, or wireless networks as they're more commonly known. Now what the reason for this is because I have 3 different VLANs. So what I've done is set up 3 different SSIDs which are associated with 3 different VLANs. These being here, as you'll see under the associated VLAN column, the automation VLAN, security VLAN, and also guest VLAN. Now what we're going to do is create a new SSID. Now of course you don't have to if you don't want. You can just modify one of your existing SSIDs and then delete the others if you so wish. But in this case what I'm going to do is, just as an example, creating a new SSID so that we can then associate it with our private pre-shared keys, or PPSKs. So to create the new SSID, select the Add button. Then in the Add Wi-Fi network screen, you will need to enable the Wi-Fi option, so turn this slider blue. Then in the name box we will give our wireless network a name, So in this case, I'm just going to call it GWN7665. So we've got GWN7665 as our SSID name. So then what we need to do is, for the associated VLAN, you need to leave this disabled. So do not turn this icon blue. Then in the SSID band, you can of course select 2.4 GHz, 5 or 6. Now I just tend to use 5 GHz, so what we'll do is untick the 2.4G. So then what we're doing is creating the wireless network just in the 5 GHz band. Then in the access security section, for the security mode, make sure that it's selected as WPA2. Now by default it should be WPA2 anyway, so we'll leave that as it is. Then for the WPA key mode, what we need to do is change this to PPSK without radius. So just click in the box and it will bring the pop down menu. So select PPSK without radius. Then in the WPA encryption type, you can leave this as AES. Then what we need to do is go down to the client isolation option, and here you will see that it's set by default as closed. Now what I like to do is select this to radio. Now what happens if you select this to radio is that what it will do is isolate each wireless client from being able to communicate with other wireless clients. So this is why I select the client isolation option as radio, so that the clients in the Wi-Fi network cannot communicate with each other. Now if you want to know what each isolation option does, then I've recently released a video on my YouTube channel, so just have a look for this in the last month and you will find a video about the client isolation options. And then for the 802.11w, you can leave that as disabled, so skip this option. Then under advanced, you can also leave all those options as they are, so just collapse that option by clicking advanced again, and then under device management, make sure that you've selected the correct wireless access points to which you want to apply this wireless network to. So I've just got one at the moment, so we'll just leave this as default, and this is the GWN7665, which as you can see is ticked. But if you have more than one access point, then you can select the relevant access point to which you want to apply this private pre-shared key wireless network to. So once you've done that, just click on save, and as you can see, it's now taken us back to the list of wireless SSIDs or wireless networks. And as you can see, we've now got the new one which we've just created of GWN7665. So if you want, what you can do is go ahead and delete the other wireless networks. Just make sure that no important clients are connected, for example security cameras and so on. If that is the case, then I would recommend leaving those wireless networks until which time as you're safe to delete them. So once you've created your wireless SSID or wireless network, you can then select the PPSK option from the left side menu. Then in the PPSK creation screen, you will see here we've got add and import. So we'll just click add, and then in the SSID name at the top, we'll click in that box and select the wireless network that we're applying the PPSK to. So in this case, it's this new one that we've just created of GWN7665. Then in the account box, what you need to do is give it an account ID. So in this case, what we'll do is just give it account ID as number 1, and then what we'll do is in the next PPSK, what we'll create, we'll call it 2, 3 and so on for the account. So then in the Wi-Fi password box, what you need to do is give your SSID for the PPSK a password, and this password will be used to access the PPSK option, and depending on which password you use, it will then put you in the relevant VLAN for your wireless clients. So we'll just create a password in here. Once you've created your password, in the maximum number of access client box, you will see that it's just set to 1 by default. Now what this will do is only allow one client at a time to access this private pre-shared key wireless network. So as we want more than one client on this Wi-Fi network, what we'll do is set it to, for example, 20. So this will then allow 20 clients at the same time to access this PPSK wireless network. Of course, you can change this to between 1 and 100. So depending on how many clients you have and want to connect wirelessly to your network, then just change the number to what your requirements are. Then in the maximum upload bandwidth and maximum download bandwidth, what you can do is set a wireless download bandwidth and upload bandwidth, so the wireless network speeds for each client. However, I'm just going to leave it as blank, so it's default as much bandwidth as they want to use. Then in the VLAN ID box, what we need to do is click in there and it will bring a drop down list of VLANs that I've already created. Now, what I want this private pre-shared key to do is to put the clients that use this password, which we set here in the Wi-Fi password, to be allocated to VLAN 5. Now, I've already created VLANs, of course. Now, if you haven't, then just have a look on my channel and there's a video there on how to create VLANs. But in this case, what we're going to be doing is putting any client that uses this Wi-Fi password that I've created here into VLAN 5, which is my guest VLAN. So then in the description box, what we'll do is type in a description for this private pre-shared key so that we know what the private pre-shared key is relating to. So as you can see, I've typed in clients for guest VLAN 5, and then once you've typed in the description or left it blank, whichever you wish, just click save, and then you can see it's taken us to the list of PPSK. So what we'll do is create 2 more private pre-shared keys, and in this case what we'll do is put them into VLAN 3 and also into VLAN 4. So what we'll do is I'll quickly go ahead and create the other 2 private pre-shared keys by clicking add, select the wireless network again, the same one, and then type in an account. So in this case we'll call it account 2, and then we'll put in the wireless password, and then again set the number of clients, so I'll just put this as 20. Then in the VLAN ID we'll select VLAN 3, and then in the description we'll type a description for this. So as you can see, I've typed in automation VLAN clients. So as the automation VLAN is VLAN ID 3, which I've set here, we'll just click save, and then what we'll do is create the 3rd one. So again, select the same SSID that we created earlier, account number 3, and then set a wireless password, set the number of access clients to 20, ignore the maximum upload download, set VLAN ID to 4, and then in this case we'll type the description as security VLAN clients, which is VLAN ID 4. So we'll click save, and then as you can see we've now got the 3 private pre-shared keys created. Each of them have their own separate wireless SSID password, so depending on what password you enter in that wireless network, when you connect to it, it will then put you in the relevant VLAN, so being VLAN 4, 3 or 5 depending on the relevant password that you use to the wireless network. So I can confirm I've already tested this and it does work. So that's how easy it is to create private pre-shared keys or PPSKs in a Grandstream GCC series using the new beta or Beta Firmware version 1.0.7.5. Now, as I've said, I've been testing this firmware version for the last couple of weeks now, and it works very well. So that'll do it for this video. Hope you found this video useful, and if you did, then drop it a like. Feel free to also leave a comment, and I'll be back again soon with more videos. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.